So what do we think about the Lakers and the gambling investigation probe? What do we think? Because they want some cell phones. Well, LeBron was cool with Damian Jones, and that whole thing with Giannis not playing, and they're asking the probe into the cell phones, and they're trying to see what's up. What do I think? I think it's pretty deep. I think sports being rigged is right there with the Epstein files. I think they're two things that would almost tear down a whole corruption because you got to believe if there's mobster power involved in sports, it is in politics, and sports and politics are political. They're one in one juggernaut. So would I be surprised? I think LeBron, there is some undenying underbelly. Two of his friends were Diddy and Jay Z, and he's ain't nothing like a Diddy party, and he hang out with Jay Z, and so-called billionaires are flaunting their money. Now, do I think they want to find anything? I don't think they're gonna want to find anything because there's a chunk of money to be had with all the gambling. But I do find it that there is something that is definitely there. I think there is definitely something there. I'm almost 100% proof there is something there because um, they've been watching. hmm And there have been Tim Donahue, Michael Francesi. I talk about this all the time. Organized crime and the syndicates and people, so on and so forth, who come out and they got all kinds of ways. If you can tip pitches in baseball, and you got baseball players getting busted and football players got busted, good and well NBA with free throw shooting and fouls called, flops, Karen Palmer. I said this before and I'll say this again. Michael Jordan's father's situation always pointed out to me. Him playing baseball always pointed out to me. I know some people are going to say, well, does it take away from them being great players and all that? It doesn't take away. But however, you are susceptible to be kind of leery about people because of the circumstances and the irony. It's just the ironic thing of it all. They all gamble and they've all been rubbed shoulders, and it's all money involved. And all the superstars have benefited from calls. All these finals have been suspect. Just so now in the last decade, we've had different teams win a chip, even though, let's keep it 100. Has it really been that different? Because in post Golden State, Kawhi Leonard goes to Toronto. He's considered one of the what? 50 greatest, 75 greatest players ever. Then LeBron AD, they won 250. Then Giannis wins. Then Steph wins. Then Joker wins. Now, we don't look at Jason Tatum as one of the 50 greatest players. It's questionable. Boy, he'll rank when it's all said and done. Will he make top 100? I'm sure he will. He might be, yeah. And then SGA wins, who will definitely be. But the thing is that there are no real Cinderella stories. Now, if the Pacers had won it, sure, fine, why not? You know. But you look at all these situations and it just looks very peculiar. So yeah, you can point the finger and say, hey, just like how Luka Doncic goes to Lakers for Broken Bones AD, and they how somehow the Mavericks get the number one draft pick in Cooper Flag. And if Cooper Flag turns out to be great, then all is right in the state of Texas again in Dallas. Nico Harrison had to take the fall. Why this stuff seems to be out of an episode of Casino the movie? Why does it seem like it's a scene out of Goodfellas? Why does it seem so contrived? Because you can put question marks beyond so many of the titles and so many of the teams, because after a while, it feels make believe. And when I remember David Stern, who had some Trumpican like attitudes about stuff, he was the man who came on TV in 2004 and said, if I had my wish, it would be LA versus LA, to my Shaq versus Kobe. And he called Tim Donahue basically a felon. He ain't say nothing about the fact that they, you know, because those guys are untouchable, him and Adam Silver. So if the Lakers are involved with their phones being confiscated, what else does it say? What else does it say? And I don't care what nobody says. Yes, I can watch the games, but the elephant in the room is too big. It's too big. Even Victor Wemby's play can't hide the elephant in the room that there is something. SGA's greatness, because everybody's gonna kind of start to become leery. They did it with baseball when they didn't want players to be involved in the Hall of Fame. They used that to sway. Hurt the game, but it ain't hurt it that much because it's a $1 billion enterprise. So what they end up doing is that they turn on the players, but yet they know what the players have to do. Because gambling is connected. to it. So of course you're going to see people taking bets on this or that. It's sad to say it's fair play. Anyway, do you think that this situation with the Lakers is going to be bigger? I think it's going to be up there with Epstein files. I think the NBA rig will be up there. If that's all what everybody's going on, is bigger than you can imagine. And you be thinking, to quote the late great Michael Ray Richardson, the ship be sinking. And so many levels of entertainment, and it infiltrates all. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out of town. Peace.